All right. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where this Tuesday finds you, and welcome to today's webinar. We're going to go on a tour of Kintone in just a couple minutes here. Before I turn it over to my colleague Jana, just want to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. So you should see your attendee interface on your computer desktop in the upper right corner. You're most likely listening using your computer speaker system by default, but if you'd prefer to join over the phone, just select telephone in the audio pane and the dial-in information will be displayed. So you can submit your text questions at any time by typing them into the questions pane of the control panel. We'll take some time to answer these at the very end, so if a question comes up for you in the middle, please feel free to send that our way. All right, so now that we are all settled, I want to tell you a bit more about Kintone. So Kintone is a digital workspace, and it enables teams to rapidly build and deploy custom business applications. And what's so neat about this platform is that it empowers business leaders to create custom solutions with little or no coding skills, all within a secure IT-governed environment. It's really a win-win situation for a team, for an organization. So really all that takes to get started is an idea. And to share more on what this all looks like, I'm going to pass it over to Jana.
Thank you, Nicole. Hello, everybody. I hope you are enjoying this Tuesday. What you're looking at here is the Kintone platform. And as Nicole mentioned, this is really a digital workspace for your most important jobs, things you need to track, manage, collaborate on, etc. So it's fully customizable, and the announcement board is really the first thing that you see. So we make it very user-friendly. You can attach charts and graphs as you see here, and these are all live. So if I click into them, in another tab, it's going to open the records that I just selected. So in this case, it's Christy Cashion. I'm going to go back home and show you notifications. Notifications come in three ways. The first way, if you mention someone in a comment, for example, in a specific record, you have a question, you can mention someone or type the @ sign, and I'll show you this a little later on. And they're going to receive a notification via the bell within the platform. It's going to light up with another number to signify that there's a message waiting. You can also get a push notification on the cell phone or tablet if you've downloaded our mobile application, which is native in Android and iOS. And you can also choose to receive an email notification that someone has mentioned you in Kintone. Spaces. I'm going to jump over to Spaces for a second. This is a great way to segregate data, and you can see that I've separated specific companies or departments, which is really how I want to segregate my data, because there's specific applications that the sales folks need where finance needs something else and POs need something else. So you don't want to muddy the water, because another point of collaboration, if I go into my sales space, are threads. You'll notice there's another announcement board within this space, but threads are the collaboration point I want to bring up right now. These are just live running conversations. Again, you mentioned someone, you can put attachments in, you can actually attach a chart or graph as well. And then the applications. This is really where we start with Kintone. The section up above, Assigned to Me, I'm going to get to in a little bit. That's primarily for process management. So you can assign a task-driven workflow to specific people or groups of people in order to move a process forward. So I'm going to dive into my sales space, and I want to take a look at what's going on. Lisa is assigned 4 records. Bob has 3. Jana 2, and Nancy 2 for closed 1. I also have a projects application, sales and leads, etc. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I started with a spreadsheet. It's a simple spreadsheet that, let's say we took this information from a conference that we attended, and we break up our sales territory by company size. So what I've done is import that by clicking on the plus sign in the apps section. You're taken to the page where you can create applications a number of ways. Our marketplace is down below and to the left, and it's really a free library of pre-built applications that you can further customize based on your specific needs. So if you wanted to take a look at the business travel request app, you see screenshots of exactly what the app looks like. And if you want to add this app, you just click on Add This App. You can create an app from scratch, which is via our drag and drop utility. Now, this is a no-code, low-code platform. So there's really no coding required to build an application. I'll show you the drag and drop utility in a few moments. Creating from an Excel or CSV is very easy. You just browse, select the file that you want. I'm going to lose my, here we go, my file. And what Kintone is going to do is take a look at the data and try and match the field types that best represent the data in your spreadsheet. Now, I've already gone ahead and converted this, but it's very quick, and I invite all of you to test out Kintone for yourself and try an Excel conversion. It's Excel or CSV. Now, I'm going to go into my survey results app that I just converted, and I have different views. Now, views are great for the different people that want to access the same data sets, but maybe the application is 100 fields long. So there's a lot of data in the application. Maybe sales wants the name, the role, the industry, the company size, and the primary work software that they're currently using, where finance might have some different data sets that are more relevant to them. Maybe just the assignment, the assignee, the industry, and their role. Just an example, you can have as many views as you want, and you can even do calendar views. And I'll show you how to do that as well. To add a new record, you just click on the plus sign, and here you're going to see all the fields of data that are within this application or database. In Kintone nomenclature, we call them apps. So I can add in all the information I want, but I've just imported my data. So I want to go ahead and take a look. I want to go back to my sales view. And you can see that there are numbers next to some of the records. That signifies comments within the record. So back to Christy, as we mentioned earlier, this is the full record detail view. And over on the right-hand side, we see the comments. I reassigned this to Lisa. She said she got it. Fantastic. And then Bob, our sales engineer, was sent this for review. And then I also wanted to thank Nancy, who's in finance, for all her help and support on this effort. So the conversation that we're having is around a specific record. So you don't have to wonder, you sent me an email 6 months ago and I can't find it. I don't know where the latest information is. It's right in the record. Or in the space with threads. If it's not necessarily related to a specific record, but it's something that you want to communicate within the members of your space, a thread is the way to go. So now I'm going to show you some of the application settings. As I mentioned, the drag and drop utility. We want to edit the form. 23 fields on the left, multi-choice, drop-downs, checkboxes, calculation fields, and two really important fields I always like to point out are related records and lookup fields. These are key fields when you want to pull data in from another application. A lookup field will auto-populate information from a data source application into the primary application that you're working in. For example, if you have a prospects list or database, and you want to take one of those prospects and create a proposal in your proposal application, you can simply find that unique identifier that matches in both records to pull in that information and auto-populate their contact information, so you don't have to recreate the wheel. If it's information you already have, you can reuse it. A related record is a little bit different. A related record pulls information in from another application that might be relevant to the primary application that you're working in. And I'll show you an example of this at the end of the demo as well. For example, the timesheets application, where I submit all the times I've worked on specific projects. I want that to be reflected in my projects application. So there's a record icon for the times spent in the projects application, and I can dive into the timesheet application directly from my projects application to view that record in full. So for the drag and drop utility, you really just drag and drop anywhere you'd like on the form on the right. And each field has its own settings where you can name this field and the field code which you need for calculations. Over here we have views, and this is where you create the new views. Again, it's a drag and drop utility. You just take the fields you wish to see in the order you wish to see them. And if you want to put something in the middle, go ahead and put it right in the middle. I'll just name this view 2. And now I have another view, and I can move these around as well. Charts and graphs. Any chart or graph that you can create in Excel, you can create in Kintone. However, the charts and graphs, as I mentioned, are all live, which means as you click on them, you're taken to that specific data set. To create a new one, you just click on the plus sign, and you select the data that you'd like to see. First, you select the type of chart. Maybe I want a pie chart. And the categories. How about the created date and time by the quarter? I can have 3 levels that I can group by. Maybe by the assignee, and then by company size. So here's my chart, and I'm going to go ahead and save that and update my app. So this is now defaulting to assign to me since I put that view at the top. But I want to go to all fields. So I want to see everything. What I want to do is just select a record. And you can see there's some buttons on the top left. This is the process management from the end user perspective. All you have to do to assign a sales team member is choose the assignee which you want to assign this to. Now, in our company, we break this out by company size. So anything up to 2,499 employees goes to Lisa. Now, I'm an admin on the account, so I can change the assignee, but not everyone is going to have that option. Quick nav, I can go back to all fields. And if I want to choose something a little larger, maybe 2,500 to just under 5,000, I want to assign this to Jana, to me, and confirm. Now that it's in my hands, I have the option to generate a proposal and review. And who's going to be responsible for that? Bob, my sales engineer. He's going to review my proposal and the engineering technology consulting work and confirm that this is good. So when I'm ready to do that, I'm going to send it off to Bob. But in the meantime, if I go home, as I mentioned earlier, the assigned to me section has now updated with another number next to survey results to signify that I now have 3 tasks assigned to me in the survey results application. And since I'm in the Assigned to Me section, if I click on survey results, it's going to take me to those 3 records. Now I can send this off to Bob, and it's in his Assigned to Me section. I can always see the status history of when exactly this happened. If there's any bottlenecks, I can see what they are. And again, if I have any questions for Bob, I can simply mention him. Please get with me to review. I have questions. And post. So again, Bob's going to get that notification in one of 3 ways that I mentioned, through the bell in the upper left, a push notification on his cell phone or tablet if he's downloaded our mobile application, again, native in Android and iOS. And he's also going to get an email if he's opted in to get emails from Kintone. It really just depends how you want to interact with the platform and how you want the platform to interact with you. Now I'm going to show you the process management from the admin side. I'm going to go back to my settings and click on process management under general settings. First thing you want to do is always enable process management. That allows you to turn on the boxes for you to click and move the process along. In the second portion of process management, you want to list out all the different statuses that this process can be in at any point in time. You can always add more, delete them, move them around as appropriate. But I like the way it's set up. So anybody can start a task, and what's the first thing that happens? We assign it to sales. So sales assignment. It's very logical from left to right. So from sales assignment, it can be either myself, Jana, or Lisa. So what I've chosen is user chooses one assignee from the list to take action. You could have all assignees in the list take action. If, let's say, this is a review and approval application and there's 10 people that need to approve something, you can certainly enforce that rule by selecting all assignees in the list must take action. Or one assignee in the list must take action. Really, who gets to it first and can move the process along. So I've broken this out by company size, as I mentioned. And the next thing that's going to happen is the proposal or engineering review. Back over on the left side, once I'm in the proposal and engineering review, I have 2 options. Closed won and closed lost. Closed won, we won the deal. That's great. Closed lost, unfortunately, we need to start all over, put our pencils to the paper, and start again. Closed won opportunities, however, need to go to finance. So the last step in the process is to receive payment and move this over to finance. So again, very logical from left to right. While I'm in the admin section, I want to talk about the notifications a little bit more. There's 3 types of notifications. The general notifications are, would you like to be notified if someone's added or edited a record? If a comment is posted and it wasn't to you specifically, you can still be notified. The next 2 are action-based and time-based. Per record notifications are action-based. So if the status changes, for example, you can be notified that the status has changed, or any field in that record. Reminder notifications are date and time based. So let's say you have a license renewal application. You're managing all of the software licenses for your company, and you want to be reminded 30 days prior to the expiration date. This is where you would go ahead and do that. Permissions. Permissions are very granular. Giving someone permission to manage the app is really giving them the keys to the kingdom. It's giving them access to this page right here, and you'll notice on the lower right, they can delete this app. So you want to be very careful about who you give permissions to manage the app to. They can also edit the form, create views, and even non-admins can create graphs on the main page, and I'll show you that momentarily. You can eliminate specific records and even down to the field level, eliminate them from view. So let's say finance had more information about the cost of goods, the sale price, the margin, things like that, that nobody else really needs to see that information. You can simply eliminate it from view. And of course, we have customization and integration. The low-code portion of the platform would be JavaScript for conditional statements and CSS for the look and feel. We do have open APIs and webhooks and allow for plugins. I'm going to discard my changes. And I want to show you related records very quickly. So if I go to my nav bar and I go to the applications, in my projects application, which is the example I mentioned earlier, I can go into my orientation project and I can see the times that Lisa worked 21 hours and it was for an orientation to newbies. That's great. But if I want a little bit more detail, I simply click on the record, which opens in a new tab to see all the times that Lisa worked on this particular orientation project. That is just about all the time we have today. So please, if there's any questions, I welcome them. Let me know how I can help you get started, show you some tips and tricks, best practices. This, again, a high-level overview of what you can do in Kintone, and you can reach out to me anytime at Jana, J-A-N-A, at kintone.com. I'm going to pass it back over to Nicole.
Great. Thank you, Jana. That was excellent. So lots of different things that you can do within Kintone. That is just really one slice of the possibilities that you can achieve. So with that, wanted to take some time for questions. So I'll just give you a few moments here to formulate those and we'll dive in. All right, first question here. This is for you, Jana. I think you could answer this very well. It's about supply chain management. Can we do supply chain management, especially around orders, inventory?
Absolutely. Anything you can think of, you can build it in Kintone and manage that process. That's what it was built for. Some of the history of Kintone, we're actually owned by a public Japanese company called Saibozu. And they have another platform where they build applications on the platform by request. And the requests were just coming in and coming in. So they decided to build Kintone to allow end users, business users, anyone with an idea to build out an app themselves without having to be a coder. So if it's supply chain management that you're looking for, you can absolutely build that out and automate a process around it. Definitely.
Excellent. Next question here. What kind of data security does Kintone have?
We have a lot of security. We've passed extremely stringent security protocols. For example, NASA is one of our clients, and I don't think they take security lightly, if that's any indication. But we also have two-factor authentication available, and we encrypt our data in flight and at rest.
Great. And so this next question is around customization. This person says, they get the drag and drop, the uploading the spreadsheet, but what if they want to do something more custom? Are there developers at Kintone who can help support that?
Absolutely. We have a team of system engineers, technology consultants, sales engineers. We've got a whole team of folks ready to help build out your dream application and workflow.
And then let's see, I think we might have someone else answering a question, got a half question in, but in the meantime, how easy is it to scale someone's operation with Kintone?
Extremely easy. This is designed for the business users to build applications and iterate on those. So you can add as needed. You can add more spaces as your company grows. You can certainly add people. It is completely scalable, and we invite you to not only test out the platform in a free trial, but invite your team to do so as well.
Great. And then let's see, another question here. It looks like this is probably around Form Creator, about how to share data from within Kintone externally. Could you talk a little bit about Form Creator and maybe some of the other products that we have?
Absolutely. Sure, there are a few native plugins that were really designed for Kintone, and Form Creator allows non-users of Kintone to enter in data, perhaps on your website or on some form via URL. You can embed it, certainly, and it automatically generates a record in Kintone for you to see, and you can be notified that a record has been generated. So that's non-users entering data, but not editing. KViewer allows non-users of the platform to view data, but not edit. So you can create a view, as many views as you want, as I mentioned earlier, and select a specific URL that you might want to give to your clients so they can follow along and track how their project is moving along without having access to the full platform.
Awesome.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's a really great scope. We have more info too about that on our website.
Yeah.
Excellent. And let's see, another question here. I believe this is around like open APIs. So maybe you can talk a little bit about open APIs and how that integrates with Kintone.
Not my area of expertise. We do have open APIs and they integrate with Kintone. Please give me a call for more information.
But back to the limitless possibilities. Yeah, exactly. Open APIs, there's a number of tools like Zapier to connect with external data sources, also, right, with other plugins as well. You can connect to just about anything that has open APIs that you're currently using. So you tie it into Kintone and you view and manage your data from one central platform.
You didn't need me for that. Thanks, Nicole.
It's just good when we go back and forth. Well, fantastic. That is all the time that we have for questions. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to Jana. Again, her email is jana@kintone.com. And a reminder that today's presentation is recorded, so if there's anything you'd like to see again, you can certainly do that. We will be sending a copy of this presentation to everyone who has registered and attended. So thank you very much, and just going to do one more wrap up now that this is all fresh on your mind, and I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to build your first apps. Please sign up for a free trial. It's the best way to really see everything that you can do with Kintone and start making the most out of your data. And if you wouldn't mind filling out our survey so we know how to help you better, that would be most appreciated. Thank you again. Thank you, Jana.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.